Mina and Masha are waiting for me, she said. My dear, your friend is a werewolf and he did hide it from you, but that does not mean you should kill him. Paisley giggled at his words. Don't worry, I won't kill Egor. I have someone else in mind. Are you ready? Mina asked. Paisley took a deep breath and nodded. Masha tapped her shoulder and smiled. Let's do this. The three girls walked towards the entrance of the club. Bran was standing there fighting with some girls that were trying to get in without an invitation. Paisley could hear the pumping music and smirked. No one recognized her in her costume. The only way Vlad would let Stefan hold his party was to make it a costume party. Masha explained that it was for her sake, so she wouldn't get disturbed or look suspicious if she accidentally did something. And here she was wearing a blood-red gown and mask that matched. Her gown was long in the back and just above her knees in the front with black fleurs. The top was a red corset with black vines and a big black bow on her lower back. Her hair was ironed and red devil horns decorated it. She wore black platforms with a bow on the back. Her mask was covering her left eye and Paisley looked like a Victorian goth picture. Mina made sure Paisley turned some heads tonight, or at least caused seizures for some boys. Mina and Masha decided to match Paisley. Their dresses were short in the front and in the back. The skirts were puffy and flurry. Their corsets were black with red lace. They had black platforms as well, but without the bow. Their masks covered half of their face, and their hair was styled loosely. Mina let her hair loose, and it looked beautiful. Paisley's moonstone shined bright in front of Bran, making him turn towards the three girls. His eyes widened at their costumes. Bran never expected that a 15-year-old girl would make him feel sexually frustrated. Princess, girls, you're looking. Wow, Bran stuttered nervously. Bran, are you nervous? Mina asked, wiggling her eyebrows, even if he couldn't see it. No, Bran blushed. Just get in and stop making me feel nervous. Bran ushered the three girls inside as they giggled at him. Thanks, Bran, Paisley yelled back at him, making him mutter and smile. They entered the club and Paisley smirked. Her eyes instantly changed color at the attention of the male population. Best thing is, she wasn't even letting her hormones out. She closed her eyes and inhaled the scent of smoke and alcohol. She opened them and smiled smugly at some boys who got a little bit too excited. Paisley went after Mina and Masha, who were headed towards Vlad's private room. Paisley, look to your right, Mina said. Paisley did as she was told and saw Eugene with Faith and some guys. Eugene was wearing a ballerina costume, while Faith was dressed as a scientist. Those are their costumes? Masha asked. Paisley could just feel her disgust. Lame excuse for costumes, Mina said, gagging. Leave them be girls. They'll get their chance soon, Paisley said. The two girls smirked and continued their way to Vlad's private room. The Dryad A? Okay. You have a room near the bar. You are allowed to use it to your liking. If you decide to do something worth screaming, the DJ will amplify the music, Vlad explained. Do you have a plan? Mina asked. Yes, I do. We'll start from the weakest, Paisley answered, smiling. Weakest? Masha asked. Mina, I need you to lure Superman in that room. Masha link me when she does. I saw someone interesting and I want to have some fun with him. Paisley winked at the two girls. Chapter 11. Mina was walking straight towards a guy dressed in a Superman costume. Paisley's plan was pretty logical. Take the pieces out one by one, starting from the weakest. Masha was casually leaning on the wall by the bar. She was watching Paisley make her way through the crowd, towards a cute blonde-haired boy. Her attention turned to Mina soon after, as Mr. Superman was manhandling her. Vlad is so not gonna like this, Masha said, holding the bridge of her nose in a dramatic way. Paisley moved behind the blonde boy dressed in black. She knew he could smell her, but she knew she can have him wrapped around her finger. The blonde turned around and smirked at the devil-horned girl in front of him. The boy was taken aback. He never saw such a beautiful creature in his life. Paisley smiled at him and made him blush. Hello, she simply said. Hi, the boy answered. Paisley chuckled. This boy was too predictable. He considered himself a playboy. Paisley. She extended her hand. Andrew. He took her hand. Instantly, Paisley let out a heat wave as they touched. Andrew stumbled back and fell on the couch behind him. Paisley took hold of his lap and straddled it. The blonde gasped, and Paisley could feel him get excited. She leaned into his ear and felt him shudder under her. "What's a dog like you doing here?" she whispered. "How did you—" The blonde was feeling dizzy from the heat. He needed pleasure. He needed it now. "Paisley, Mina did it. They're in the room," Paisley groaned. Her fun was cut short by Masha. She looked down at the blonde, who was breathing heavily. She ran her index finger down his chest, feeling his abs. Andrew might have looked skinny and bony, but he was far from it. She ripped his t-shirt and traced his skin. As her finger made swift movements on his abdomen, he moaned at the burning sensation rising in him. Paisley finished her teasing and leaned into the blonde's face. "I had fun, Andrew," she said, and kissed him on the lips. She left Andrew on the sofa and went towards Masha. Out of the corner of her eye, she saw a girl with blue highlights watching her. Paisley could feel something was off with her. She made a mental note to ask Mina later. "Job settery as... Does... Please, I don't have any money. I just came here for my friend's party." Riven was babbling on and on. "For the last time. I don't give a fuck about your money. Now shut up," Mina yelled. Riven was tied to a chair and Mina was sitting on a box nearby. The room was small and filled with boxes of all kind. It was the club's storage room. The door opened and Paisley stepped in with a smile. Masha stayed outside as a lookout. "Oh, thank God. He's been rambling and crying for the last 20 minutes. Mina said. "Sorry. Had some business to take care of," Paisley said apologetically. Riven fell silent. He wasn't whimpering nor begging anymore. "Paisley, you're alive?" She smirked at the boy in front of her. "Faith and Eugene didn't tell you?" "Sweetheart, I came back from the dead to give you a piece of my mind." Paisley caressed the boy's cheek. Riven's eyes widened at the shock of heat that Paisley radiated. The teen was scared for his life, because he knew that the Paisley before him was not a human anymore. "Riven, sweetheart, how have you been these past 2 months?" Paisley sweetly asked, taking a seat on 2 boxes in front of him. "Oh, go on." Riven croaked. Paisley could practically feel his fear. She loved this feeling. "Why so scared, Riven?" Paisley asked. I'm not scared. Don't bother lying, eye candy. We can smell your fear." Mina smirked. Riven gulped as Paisley's eyes intensified with color. "Riven, why did you leave me there in the park to die? Why are you holding your tongue for that bitch Charlotte?" Paisley gripped the boy's jaw. Riven whimpered out. He never expected Paisley to hurt him, even if he was on the bad side. I'm sorry," said. "Well, sorry won't take away the shit I went through," Paisley snarled. She turned towards Mina and motioned with her head for her to leave. Mina left the room and joined Masha outside. "She's going to kill him, isn't she?" Masha asked, watching the many teens dance and dry hump each other. "Yep," Mina answered, popping the PPP. The girls leaned in and eavesdropped on the conversation inside. "One more question. Where is the bitch?" Don't know. S. Stefan H. hid her, A. after H. he she B. bailed H. her, O. out. Riven was now shaking. Paisley was mad, but expected this. Riven was never the one to be told secrets or so. He was just one of Charlotte's pawns. Paisley released Riven's jaw and stood up. Riven looked up at the brunette with pleading eyes. Please, have mercy." Shadows swallowed Paisley's face and only left her red eyes to devour someone's soul. Paisley smiled, showing a sharp set of teeth. Riven started hyperventilating. "Well, dear Riven, the time has come for you to set an example for your friends. Oh, and I don't show mercy," Paisley said, a sickening smile taking her features. Mina and Masha heard that and turned around. The DJ looked towards the 2 girls who nodded. Paisley was to not be disturbed right now. The DJ smirked and amplified the music. The teens waiting in line could hear it all the way at the back, like they were inside the club. In the storage room, Paisley caught Riven by the throat. "I'll let you choose. Do you want a slow and painful death, or quick and painless?" Riven choked at Paisley's words and spit in her face. She wiped it off her cheek and glared at him. "Slow and painful it is." Paisley let go of his throat and stared at the boy. "You have pretty eyes. What a pity it would be to lose them." Paisley smiled and stuck her fingers in his eye sockets. She pulled out his eyeballs, leaving hollow red holes seeping with blood. For some reason, it reminded her of Lucifer's tear fountain. Riven screamed in pain. A few vampires in the club turned towards the door, but as soon as they saw Mina and Masha, they averted their gaze and continued dancing. Paisley caught Riven's head and pressed it against her chest. Riven was screaming in agony. "Shh, Riven, sweetheart, shh. You asked for this." Paisley parted his mouth with her bloody fingers. Riven's tongue reacted on its own and licked Violet's fingers. Paisley moaned in pleasure. "For a 17-year-old virgin, you know how to pleasure a girl," she said, kissing him. She forcefully parted his mouth and started the tongue battle. Riven quickly forgot about his pain and gave in to Paisley. She smiled against him and bit down his tongue. She ripped his tongue out. Riven screamed and bit Violet's shoulder. "You little jackass!" She then ripped his head off, making his neck into a sprinkler. The front of her dress was covered in blood. She growled, her eyes twinkling. She dropped his head and smiled. Dracul appeared beside her and smiled at her. "Can you take care of the cleaning for me?" she asked him. "Of course. I will wrap him as well and send him out as a present." Paisley smiled and patted the small purple dragon. She said a silent thank you and left the room, leaving a decapitated Riven behind. Chapter 12. Paisley walked out the room and looked at the two girls in front of her. Masha's eyes turned red at the scent of blood that covered Paisley. Her dress was soaking in some places, and the vampires were getting agitated. The bartender smirked at them and gave them each a glass of wine. Well, except for Masha, who got blood. The humans in the club were all staring at them with envy. The girls looked like a picture. To Paisley's first kill, Mina said. Masha and Paisley smirked and raised their glasses. Paisley saw bright blue eyes on her. She smiled slightly as she moved towards the owner of those burning bright eyes. "It's not polite to stare at a lady," she said to the man next to her. She casually leaned on the wall. The man beside her looked her over carefully. "Why did you kill that boy?" he asked. Paisley only smirked at him. "Why should I tell you, stranger?" She took a sip from her glass. "Hey, Oliver," I heard screaming. Egor walked over to the man in small brunette. He stopped in front of Paisley and gulped. "Ah, the other dog made its appearance," Paisley said. "I'll leave you two men to your doggy needs." She skipped away, but not before she stopped and pulled Egor so she could whisper into his ear. "I'm disappointed in you, Egor. Keep that in mind." She whispered and went off. Egor felt tingles rise in his upper arm and ear. He felt a pang of pain in his heart. He knew he was losing her both as a friend and mate. So what now? Mina asked, lounging on one of the sofas in Vlad's private room. "Now, I'm going after Stefan. Riven told me that Stefan is hiding Charlotte, and I'm going to get to that bitch sooner or later. But I prefer sooner," Paisley answered. "Any plans?" Masha asked from her seat by a half-asleep human she drained a few minutes ago. A few. Will you be kind enough to tell us?" Mina asked, laughing. "Gladly. Winter break starts in 2 days, and dear Stefan is going on a vacation trip with his family. They're going to Hungary to some kind of healing resort, and that's where we'll meet him," Mina squeaked. "Exactly. All right, I'll go get Luca to come with us," Mina said. "We're gonna need 2 more people aside from Luca," Paisley said. "Who?" "We're gonna need Bran and Svetlana." "Leave them to me," Masha said, standing up. "Good. I need to go take a shower." "We leave on Sunday. Masha, come over with Svetlana and Bran tomorrow and tell her to bring a bikini. I know she has something skanky in her closet," Paisley said, standing up. She bid her goodbye to Vlad and Masha and left with Mina. She looked over at Stefan and smiled. He was looking at her like he was in a trance. She can't wait to take him out. Hey, asshole. Hey, asshole. Wake up." Egor nudged Andrew with his foot. Andrew groaned and opened his eyes. "Bloody hell, what happened?" he asked, holding his head. "Mornin', sleeping beauty, or should I say evening?" Bogdan snickered. "What?" Andrew abruptly stood up from the couch, and clearly the sun was setting in the distance. "How long was I out?" A day," Bogdan said. "Dude, what happened to you? 1 minute you were behind me, the next you are picking up a hot brunette, and then you're out like a light bulb. I remember her saying her name and then everything became blurry. So what's her name?" "'Cause she was pretty hot, if you know what I mean." Bogdan smirked and winked at Andrew. "Dude, you have a mate." Egor yelled from the kitchen. He was making dinner with Oliver. Shush, Egor. Tell us her name already. Bogdan nudged Andrew. Andrew's pants rolled down a bit and the blanket fell down from his shoulders. Bogdan dropped the TV remote and gasped. Oliver, he screamed. The blue-eyed man ran out the kitchen in a panic. He looked at Andrew and his eyes widened in fear. Andrew, who was the girl from 2 nights ago. He yelled at the blonde. Why are you all looking at me like I killed someone? Sir, me. Oliver was losing patience. He gripped the blonde's shoulders tightly. Dude, you should probably visit the bathroom. Andrew ran as fast as he could to the bathroom. He ran in and almost broke the glass doors of the shower cabin. He steadied himself in front of the mirror, just as the rest of the household made their way after him. He looked down where his abs were and gasped. Just below them, he saw a freshly carved tattoo. It was a weird shape, but he could have sworn he saw it somewhere before. The base of the tattoo was a long arrow line. At the bottom of the line, an infinity sign shape stood. Above the infinity shape was a longer horizontal arrow line that had both its ends as arrows. A smaller version was placed above it. Memories from the party came flooding his mind and stopped on a particular brunette. That one particular moment was now stuck in his head. A girl in a red gown sitting on top of him and tracing her finger on his body. Oh my God! She did this to me. She drew this on me. He yelled. Down. Who would draw a damn devil cross on you? She, Egor said. Andrew was starting to lose it. Answer, goddammit. Oliver caught Andrew by the throat. Their eyes met for a brief moment, and Andrew was struck by another emotion, beside fear. Anger. She said her name was Paisley. Just get in the damn van, Svetlana. Mina groaned. She couldn't take Svetlana's attitude anymore. Sunday has finally come, and they were ready to leave for their trip. Masha brought Svetlana and Bran. Luca was here as well, but something was off with him. Paisley could feel it too well. I am not riding in that filthy thing, Svetlana yelled. Get in the van. Now. Svetlana went in without hesitation or another word. Why can you do that and I can't? Mina asked. I don't know. Paisley shrugged. The two were the last to enter the van before its journey began to Hungary. Chapter 13. You never told us that you speak Hungarian, Lucas said from the driver's seat. There's a lot you don't know about me. Paisley winked from the back seat. It came in handy. Mina smiled. Where to now? Luca asked. We're going to a smaller town near Szegedin. It's called Morahalome. There's a thermal pool resort there, and that's where Stefan is, Paisley explained. Awesome. I know a few people there who we can crash with, and they'll help us out, Mina said. They made a quick stop, so Luca could join Paisley in the back of the van, while Mina took the wheel. What is this plan that it has to involve me? Svetlana asked from her seat in the middle of the van, between Bran and Masha. I need you to wear a bikini, show of your boobs, and get Stefan to take you to his room. From there, you'll steal his key card and give it to Luca, who will be casually walking by the room. Mina and Masha will be in charge of keeping the parents and sister busy. Luca will give the key card to me and I'll visit the horny jackass, while Bran will take care of the cameras so no one suspects us. Paisley said it all in one go. Everyone's eyes were wide and their mouths were wide open. Paisley giggled at their surprise. I think we have an evil mastermind here, Bran said, laughing. I'm scared for my life right now, Luca said. You hear that, Svetlana? Keep being a spoiled little bitch and Paisley will plan your death, Mina said. They slowly drove into the small town. Mina soon pulled up to a 2-story house near the hotel that Stefan and his family were staying at. They all piled out the van and took their bags for the 2-day stay. Paisley decided that was enough time to kill her ex and move on. Mina locked the black van and skipped towards the white gate. She pushed the small doorbell on the side and waited patently. 2 pit bulls ran at the gate barking. Cute dogs, Bran muttered. A tall, black-haired girl emerged at the gate. Mina, she yelled as she shooed the dogs away. Paisley could just feel the Hungarian accent in the girl's voice. Come on in. She ushered them all inside the house. Guys, I would like to introduce Erica and her mate Gabor. Erica is a succubus and Gabor is an incubus, which is practically the male version of my kind. They are also my long-lost friends. Mina chuckled. The two greeted everyone, and they sat down in the living room. They started making adjustments to Paisley's plan. I don't know language, Gabor said. Nink semibaj. In ertek magerul. Ugi hogi mahtastan. Erika meg in meg magyarazuk neked. Paisley said. An, no problem. I understand Hungarian, so later Erica and I will explain everything to you. 2. Everybody in the room was in a state of shock over her words. Her Hungarian was perfect. Gabor smiled and nodded. He gave her a thank you and the conversation continued. Paisley and Luca were casually sitting at the resort's bar. They were both drinking some cocktails as they watched Stefan swimming and flirting with anything that had boobs. Paisley, mon meg megent hogan elted at azite ket honapat vele? Gabor asked Paisley. An, Paisley. Tell me again, how did you survive those 2 months with him? Pate. A2, he was the bartender here, while Erica worked as the receptionist. Paisley followed Stefan with her eyes. He didn't recognize her in one of Luca's hoodies. On is seretnem tudni, she answered Gabor. An, I would like to know as well. Luca was just quietly sipping his drink and watching Stefan with a hollow set of blue eyes. Why are you so quiet? She asked him. I'm not, he answered. Luca, stop lying. She looked at him. Paisley placed her hand on him and he stiffened. He was thinking of pulling it back, but he knew it would offend the girl next to him. She was not helping his situation at all. While Paisley was having fun with Riven 2 days back, Lucifer was having a play date with Luca, and not a happy one. Demi ass, Luca awoke in the cold dungeon-looking chamber. He was strapped painfully to the wall by a set of rusty chains. What? He asked the man in front of him. His piercing red eyes were dark with rage. Asmodeus, what did I tell you when I assigned you this job? His voice was cold and dangerous. Luca could feel bits of jealousy in it as well. This only made him smirk. He let out a deep breath and stared back at his red eyes. They were identical to Paisley's. You told me not to fall in love or take interest in your pets, said. But, you know, that Egor is much more dangerous than I am in that field. Luca smirked. Lucifer gripped the handles of his chair. They were slowly cracking from the pressure. He means nothing to her, said. Luca just stared at him. He was not believing his eyes. The almighty king of the dead was denying some small girl's feelings. He was jealous, all because of a small brunette. With all due respect, Your Highness, but you're in love with her, Luca said. It pained him to say that, because he disobeyed his master and fell for the same brunette. That is absurd, Lucifer protested. Luca sighed and looked at his master. Paisley has had a crush on that boy for the last 4 years. She herself told me that it pains her to look at him because he has lied for those 4 years. She told me and Mina how much she loved us. She told us how much she is grateful to you. Your Highness just admitted already. You love her and you're pissed off at the wolf boy and myself for being too close to her. You even gave her the moonstone that makes her your bride, Luca said, wincing at the pain from the chains. Lucifer's expression stayed in his mind. It was imprinted like some old poem. Lucifer has just realized that he was indeed having weird feeling towards his sweet pet. He knew he was in love with the girl, and he knew that this would not end soon. Chapter 14. Svetlana walked over to the pool area with Mina and Masha right behind her. She saw Stefan by the bar approaching Paisley and Luca and panicked. She looked around and quickly grabbed the nearest water bottle. She hit him in the back of the head with the bottle and jumped into the pool. Stefan turned towards his little sister with a glare. Not cool. He yelled at her. Mina and Masha laughed in the background as Svetlana rose from the water, making half of the male population go mute. Her white bikini became a see-through in less than a second. Her hair was damp and her mouth was forming a smug smile. Stefan blinked at her and hastily went over. Hello, said. Svetlana looked at him and swallowed a lump. She took a deep breath and closed the distance between them. Do you want to have some fun? Svetlana purred into his ear. Stefan looked over at his sister and she walked over. What? She asked, annoyed. Make sure Mom and Dad don't go back to the room, he said and draped an arm over Svetlana's shoulder. She smiled on the outside, but inside her head, every Russian curse word was directed towards Paisley as they made their way back to Stefan's room. Safton Thames, Abataris, Way Shell Thames, Des Cam, Me, which means Phase 1 is complete. Paisley said. Bran, start phase 2. Paisley said through the mental link she built with all of them. Lucas stood up and went away. Paisley looked at his back and sighed. The chair next to hers moved, and the same blue-haired girl from the party took a seat next to her. Gabor was tending to some other customers, so he didn't pay much attention to the brunette. You know, killing off your friends won't make you feel better, the girl said. You know, sticking your nose into other people's business will bite you in the ass. Diana. She extended her hand, but Gabor was quick to interfere. Get lost, siren. You're not welcome here, he snarled. Paisley's eyes widened. Gabor knew her language but decided to play dumb? Aw, come on, Gabor. I just came to meet our fair queen, she said. Queen? Paisley asked, curious. Yes, queen. Diana, don't you dare. Gabor gave Diana a warning glare. That little choker that you're not taking off is a sign that you belong to Lucifer and are his bitch, Diana said, standing up. She smirked and walked away. Paisley turned towards her and her eyes turned a deep shade of red. The only bitch here is you, siren whore, she said at the siren. Paisley swore that the next time they met, the siren won't be able to walk anymore. Bran gave the go. Svetlana is with Mina and Masha. The parents are at a restaurant, while the sister is chasing a guy twice her age around. I'll stay close by if you need anything, Luca said, handing Paisley the keycard. She nodded and went over to unlock Stefan's door. The keycard beeped and Paisley opened the door. She walked in looking around. She found Stefan sitting in an armchair. She raised her eyebrow and smiled at him when she caught the bite marks on his neck. She pulled out the chair from behind her and placed it in front of Stefan. She took a seat and heaved a sigh. Let's cut to the chase. Where's Charlotte? She asked. Why should I tell you? Stefan asked. He was scared, but his pride was bigger than his fear. I don't know, maybe because you're paralyzed in a chair and I'm a few moments away from ripping out your throat? You know it's just a wild guess. Paisley shrugged. Stefan gulped when the girl's eyes turned red. Now he was sure that she was responsible for Riven's disappearance. He took a shaky breath and looked at Paisley. Charlotte dumped me after I bailed her out of jail. She told me she was with me only because it would hurt you. Please. I didn't know she would stab you. Sorry, Sid. I don't want an apology from you. It means nothing to me now. I just want to know where she is. Paisley said, her eyes turning a darker shade of red than ever before. She went over to Eugene's. Faith told me at the party that Charlotte is going to Austria before Christmas. Paisley, you don't have much time, he told her. Paisley simply nodded. She had one more question for Stefan, but then again, she was a little bit insecure to ask it. She took a deep breath and decided that if she would ask it, then it would be now, before she killed him. Stefan, there's one more thing. Stefan raised his head. Did you really mean what you said that day? That I was a mere plaything because of Egor's status? Paisley remembered the day she and Stefan broke up. He called her out to the park and humiliated her in front of his friends. But of course, Egor didn't let that happen. He came to her rescue. That day, not only did she lose her boyfriend, she lost her friends as well. And that's when everything went downhill. The only good thing that came out from all of that was meeting Den and Natalie. At first it was, but then I found out how perfect you were, how you made me feel. I found out you were the most energetic person I have ever met, and you were fun to be around with, he said. Paisley clenched her jaw and balled her fists. You know, I remember the first time I saw you. You were wearing that band t-shirt that Egor gave you. I don't remember the name of the band. You mean Cannibal Corpse? Yeah, that one. You looked really intimidating. But when you smiled up at Egor, you looked really happy. I wanted someone to smile up at me like that, so I wanted to make you my girlfriend. But you never smiled at me like that. I knew you liked Egor and it bugged me a lot, so I did everything possible for you to like me. I asked you to become my girlfriend, and I wanted to hurt Egor somehow, but he wasn't even scratched when I dumped you. Only a few months later did I realize I had hurt you. Paisley couldn't listen anymore. Her head was going to collapse from Stefan's words. Stefan, I killed Riven and I will kill you as well, she said. Make it quick, Sid. Paisley stood up and went over to him. She stopped behind him and placed her hands on his jaw. Ooh, Paisley, I never stopped loving you, even after we broke up. Even now, I still love you. Those were the last words the boy ever spoke. Paisley broke his neck and fell to the floor, streams of water going down her cheeks. She was staring at his body from behind and started sobbing. Chapter 15. The whole ride back to their house, Paisley was silent. She was sitting in the back alone. After Dracul took care of the cleanup, Paisley cried her soul out to Luca. He didn't say a word, he just let the girl cry. Paisley took a deep breath and looked at Mina in the passenger seat. Who is Diana? Those were the first 3 words that came from Paisley's mouth today. Luca gripped the wheel, while Mina's eyes darted back at the puffy-eyed girl. Paisley's eyes were swollen from the crying she did last night. How do you know her? Mina asked. I met her yesterday. She told me I was Lucifer's bitch. Pretty much I want to know what's her problem with me, Paisley said coldly. Mina sighed. Diana was supposed to be your guardian instead of me, but Lucifer said she was too greedy and she would not protect you, so he chose me. Greedy? Paisley asked. Diana wanted to take away one of the 7 ruby stones from the siren tear fountain. Those ruby stones hold the power of the 7 seas. In a siren's hand, they could bring destruction and chaos to the world. Lucifer keeps them in that fountain for a reason, Lucas said. Diana wanted the power of the Black Sea so she could rule it. She wanted to kill a man who did not submit to her and who used her, Mina said. Who was this man? Paisley asked. He is all too familiar to you, Lucas said, laughing. Oh God, please don't tell me. That's right, it was Egor. Mina smiled. Luca pulled up to the driveway of their house. The 3 vampires were the first ones out and in the house. Paisley sighed and got out the van. She got a really dull headache and she saw images flashing by. She saw Andrew in his room staring at the ceiling with a book in his hand. She could see that the title of the book was History of the Devil. Andrew's eyes held determination of some sort. He stood up and stopped in front of the mirror. He took a pair of scissors from his desk and cut his index finger. He started drawing on the mirror. Paisley made out a reversed pentagram and waited for Andrew's next words. I accept the duty of a hound. Too, Paisley smiled. Andrew has officially become her pet. She saw a figure in the background. It was a man with deep brown eyes and light brown hair. His eyes were directed at Andrew. She knew the man for some time. She has met him a long time ago, and now she knew what he wanted to do. Sabah? Ampu. Asumtam. Mass. Tom Ampu. Point us, Bogdan announced. Oliver's bright blue eyes shifted from his papers to a taller man in his 20s. His hair was light brown and matched his bright brown eyes. Vuk. Oliver smiled. Take a seat. No thanks. I have some information about the girl that drew on Andrew. I'd like to share it with everyone. Vuk said. Oliver nodded and they moved to the living room. Bogdan and Egor were watching TV, while Andrew was reading a book. Egor saw the men coming in, so he turned the TV off. That drew Andrew's attention.